It's homecoming here in Hallsville, Texas, as we get ready for a matchup between the number 7 Chapel Hill Bulldogs versus the Hallsville Bobcats. Hello, everybody. I'm Logan Ward, and alongside me is Brett Sweeney, and we get ready for this matchup, this non-district matchup between these two teams, and it's going to be an exciting game. Expect a lot of fireworks here early on in this one. For Chapel Hill, coming into the game, number 7, ranked by Dave Campbell's Texas Football in the Division 4A, Division 1, 2-0 on the season. Last week at Stephen F. Austin, beat Livingston 35-15, and the week before at Greenville 63-36. For the Hallsville Bobcats, they come into this one 0-2 and have lost to Henderson and Kilgore, who are both also in District 9 4A. So the Bobcats getting 3 straight 9 4A district members in a row. And that's a tough sledding to start a season.
I was going to say that's a tough ask for anybody, much less somebody that's not in the district. I mean, it's hard enough for Chapel Hill that has to face those teams because they have to. But Hallsville, their pre-district schedule is going to, even though it's 4A, a lot of it, it's still going to be a very tough test and get them tested and ready for their District 5A matchups.
Last week, Hallsville played Kilgore, who was the number 7 team in 4A. They are now number 5, and they welcome in Chapel Hill this week, who's number 7 now. Chapel Hill moved up from 9 to 7 this week. And we are ready for kickoff here. You're going to see a dynamic offense from this Chapel Hill team led by junior quarterback Tyler Jones. And for Hallsville, they have a pretty prolific offense as well, led by junior quarterback Jace Mosley. And it's going to be Hallsville who gets the ball first to start this game. Back to receive for the Bobcats, number 5, Carter Rogas. Their leading receiver this year has 15 receptions on the year for the Bobcats. Kicking off for Chapel Hill, Adolfo Tamayo. And we're almost set here in Hallsville for this non-district matchup. Chapel Hill in the LSU-inspired jerseys. Yellow pants, yellow hats. Hallsville in the all-purple. It's their homecoming, and they're going to get the ball starting out at about the 33-yard line. It's a packed house here in Hallsville. They're homecoming. A lot of people in the stands, and honestly, it was kind of hard to get a parking spot with all the fans that are here for homecoming.
Yeah, it was crazy out there. I'm impressed with the support that they're showing this team. And they haven't been a traditionally strong team either, and that's a lot to come to these kind of games. So I'll give it to Hallsville for packing this house tonight almost.
First play is going to be a fake and a double move, and a wide-open receiver caught at the 40-yard line. He's going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 25. Cam Gott on the reception, his 6th of the year, and that's a big play, double move there for Hallsville to start off the game.
Chapel Hill got there on that play. Nice way to start the game for Hallsville.
2 receivers in motion, a little miscommunication, and there's going to be a flag. Receiver wasn't set yet. There's a little miscommunication. 2 receivers started going in motion, and one of them said, hey, you're not supposed to go. And they weren't set before the snap was off. So this will move Hallsville back. So it's going to be now 1st and 15 for the Bobcats. Man in motion. Handoff. The right side, bouncing off a couple tacklers, is Elijah Nicholson. Gain of about 4 on the run. That's Nicholson's first carry of the game. The senior, who was just crowned homecoming king.
That's a good start for the night for him.
11:42 remaining as we're just underway here in Hallsville. A lot of motion early, a little bobbled snap, and the ball's going to be picked up by Chapel Hill. We'll see.
They think they have it.
They think they have it, and they do. Chapel Hill will retain possession. Coming up with the ball is LaDanian Mosley coming up with the fumble recovery.
That's big for the Chapel Hill defense. For the first 2 weeks of the season, a much improved defense. Giving up a big play early, but the bend but not break mentality there causing the turnover. Let's see if that can spark their offense here on this first possession.
It was Lamar Williams who caused the fumble off of a kind of a bobbled snap and handoff. And here comes this prolific Chapel Hill offense. They're going to take a shot first play, and immediately taken down is Deuce McGregor. Kylie Fight.
Wow.
There, read that scouting report,
Yeah.
attacked that at the point of attack, and a great open field tackle there.
You don't want to let Deuce get away, and he sure didn't. He had his number, and he lined him up and tattooed him.
Gain of a couple, 2nd and 7, though. Handoff up the middle. And another great open field tackle by the Hallsville Bobcats. Landon Schweit there on the tackle. Wrapping up Kevin Brooks. Couple of yards on the gain. And we'll bring up a 3rd and about 5-6 yards to go. Brooks again getting the carry, and he's actually going to lose a yard there. So the Hallsville defense coming up big on this first possession, and it's going to be 4th down, and Chapel Hill's punt team's going to come out.
Yeah, they killed the momentum really quickly that Chapel Hill had off that turnover. 3 nice defensive stops to force Chapel Hill to an early punt.
Could have asked for better from this Hallsville defense after the turnover. So Tyler Jones will do the punting duties. Carter Rogas is going to be the returner, standing about the 33-yard line, ready to receive the punt. Punts off, and fair caught. Fair caught at right about the 32-yard line. And that's where Hallsville will take over on their second possession of the game. .46 remaining in the first quarter. Mosley's going to keep it and run. He's going to gain a couple of yards on the quarterback run. And about 5. Mosley's not afraid to use his legs. But coming into this game has really been a passing offense for this Hallsville team. You're going to say he gained 4, so 2nd and 6 now for the Bobcats. Fake pass. They're going to try to throw the screen over on this side, and Nicholson gets it, but a good, sound defensive play from Chapel Hill.
As Bribson over there kind of made the initial wrap-up.
And they're going to say no gain, so now it's 3rd and 6 for Hallsville. See what they do here on 3rd down. Pass across the middle. Rogas going to catch it right at midfield. Good enough for a 1st down. And Rogas is the leading receiver for this team, his 2nd catch of the night. And a good gain there on third down. We're going to spot him at the 49-yard line. Nicholas going to get the ball run right up the middle. Gain of about 4. And that's something that Chapel Hill has worked on and improved on a lot this year, is the stopping the run up the middle. Last year, that was one of their kryptonites, with running backs just running straight up the gut. But
untouched, too.
New defensive coordinator Craig McFarland has kind of cleaned that up here in the first couple of weeks, and the run games for the teams that they faced hasn't really done much. Trick play there. Rogas going to try to outrun him, gets to the edge. Rogas pushed out of bound.
It's Bripson again, the freshman, on the force out of bounds there. It's a nice play by the youngster.
And another third down here for Hallsville.
Might be one of those where they 2 plays for the first here, too. If they don't get it, they're in kind of no man's land.
Looking over to get the signal. Blitz coming.
Man.
And they're going to just push forward. A good push by this Hallsville offensive line and running back, and
nice run by Nicholson.
They get into the 35-yard line, so gain plenty and then some.
He just kept his legs going and just let his guys kind of help him too. Got his lineman pushing and gained an extra 2 or 3 yards there at the end.
This Hallsville offense looking pretty sharp. Besides the fumble, have moved the ball pretty efficiently so far to start this game. Rogerson motion. Looks over, screen near side. This is Nicholson's going to catch it. Make a man miss, and he's going to try to find in the middle and dives forward to the 15. Mark him at the 16-yard line.
Nicholson's been impressive so far.
Nicholson, coming into this one, is actually their second leading receiver.
I can see that.
Had the most yards, second most yards on the team. Adds quite a bit there.
So very well-executed screenplay.
So in the red zone now are the Bobcats. Blade Bullard getting his first carry of the game. Plows up the middle. Gain of 8.
A little hurry-up offense.
That's going to be right at the line to gain. They'll see if they call it first down or not, but it's going to be really close. They're going to say no. It's going to be about 2 inches short, so it's going to be 3rd and short now for Hallsville. Nicholson moves over to the right side of Mosley, gives the handoff up the middle, and he is stuck by a couple of Bulldogs. It's a gain of 1, and that's going to be good enough for the first down. So now 1st and goal.
That's all they needed was the 1. That's what they got.
First and goal now for the Bobcats. On an impressive 2 drives offensively for Hallsville.
Yeah, Hallsville's looked good so far on offense. They've pretty much controlled this whole quarter, minus Chapel Hill's 3 and out.
5:20 and counting remaining in the first quarter. Mosley's rolling over, tosses it to Nicholson, gets into the end zone, touchdown, Bobcats.
It's kind of a roll out there and a run-pass option for the QB. Waited for Chapel Hill's defense to commit to the run, and he just tossed it to his man Nicholson for the score.
Nicholson's second receiving touchdown on the year gives Hallsville a 6-0 lead early in this ball game.
Yeah, so far Hallsville's given these fans something to cheer about.
PAT is up and good. So with 5:11 remaining in the first quarter, Hallsville takes a 7-0 lead. We'll be right back. You're watching Dave Campbell's Texan Live. Elijah Nicholson's second receiving touchdown gives Hallsville a 7-0 lead here at Bobcat Stadium here in Hallsville, Texas. Back to receive for Chapel Hill, number 2, Alonzo McGregor, and number 1, Tyson Berry. Short kick fielded by Berry. He's going to try to make someone miss. And Berry found a little crease. Tyson Berry going to try to find the outside, finding just a little room, and a good return there by the junior. Pushed out of bounds at the 40-yard line, where the Bulldog offense will try to find any yardage, really.
Yeah, that's the most yards
this time.
They had all night there on that run back by Berry. It was a nice run. Hopefully they can use that to get a little momentum going. Right now, Hallsville's defense is looking sharp. They come out with a game plan, and they're sticking to it so far.
Two wide receivers on both sides of the formation. This is a formation that you'll be seeing a lot tonight for Chapel Hill. Handoff to Samari Willis. Finds the outside, and another clean open field tackle by Hallsville. A good play there. And that's been the story of the game so far. Granted, this is the, fourth play that Chapel Hill has run, but on pretty much every play, Hallsville has done a great job with form tackling.
Yeah, I hadn't let them get away from him so far.
Jones fling it over to Austin Watkins, and it just goes in between his hands. He was wide open.
He had him. He was definitely, if he caught that, he probably was going to score. Because there wasn't anybody within 5 or 10 yards of him. Just couldn't quite get it to him.
This Chapel Hill offense has been throwing the ball a lot this year. Most of their yards has really been coming from the air. Averaging 552 yards a game coming into this one. Jones rolls out to his right, trying to find a man. Man, there's Deuce McGregor, who breaks a tackle. McGregor inside the 35, 30, shakes off a tackler. There's going to be a flag, and they might call a face mask on that one.
Deuce is almost, he's like got
and it's
grease
going to be
on him. He had guys just slip through his grasp.
Tackled at the 25-yard line, and that's what Deuce McGregor does so well, is being elusive in the open field.
It's hard to describe until you see him play, really. I mean, it's so impressive. Nothing flashy, just juke here, juke there, and choop, he's gone.
And the referees are discussing on that far sideline what the call is going to be. And we'll wait to see. So a blindside block on Austin Watkins is going to move the ball back. Chapel Hill to the 40-yard line, so a loss of about 15 on the play.
Ouch. That one hurts. Chapel Hill
but a first down.
They finally made a play, got some yards going there, and then a penalty knocks it back. So Hallsville catches a break there.
Samari Willis on the delayed handoff.
Oh, nice run.
Breaking a couple tackles and gets a first down. Gain of 11 on the play for the senior.
You're going to notice in Chapel Hill, they're going to sub those running backs in and out, just kind of like clockwork. They've got about 4 they'll go to, and they kind of like to keep them fresh, which helps them down the stretch in late games.
Tyler Jones keep this on the quarterback read. He's going to just run straight into the defender to the 19-yard line. Gain of 9. Brings up 2nd and 1. So Chapel Hill offense clicking a little bit more on this possession. As DJ Williams now in a running back for Chapel Hill. Barry's going to get it on the end around. Good blocks in the open field, and Tyson Barry gets inside the 10-yard line.
Nice run by Barry there.
Slung out of bounds by Fight. Barry might have had a crease if he would have cut back inside. He might have had a touchdown, but decided to go to the outside. It still good enough for a first down, and now it's 1st and goal for Chapel Hill.
Yeah, he just ran out of room there on the outside.
That sideline's an extra defender in those situations. Solomon McFoy in motion. He gets it. Good block outside from DJ Williams, and to the pylon. Solomon McFoy knocked out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, good block there by Williams, as you mentioned. He's a little guy, but he popped a good punch there on that block. Freed McFoy up to get almost around in. Just couldn't quite reach the pylon.
Second and goal from the 2. A lot of people in the box here for Hallsville. Another flip off to Tyson Barry, and he's going to be tackled at the 1-yard line, just maybe inches away from the goal. Couldn't get the ball across the plane. And now 3rd and 1. 3rd and inches, really.
Seeing a lot of misdirection runs here for Chapel Hill in this drive. Seems to be very effective. Wonder if coach has found something that he likes.
A lot of times, though, in these red zone situations, goal to goal, you don't really want to run horizontally.
Sideways, yeah.
You want to get
we'll see.
North-south. And
they got Brooks in. Let's see if they go to him.
Here we are. Barry, slow trot in motion. Kind of the up back there, and let's see what they do. Brooks flag on the play. They're going to call a touchdown.
He's in, but let's see what they call. Something out here on the outside.
But it maybe false start.
Offsides.
Nope, offsides, and that means the touchdown will stand. They'll decline the penalty, so Chapel Hill answers.
It's a nice drive there by Chapel. A little bit different than you normally see. It was more of a methodical eat-the-clock drive, but very impressive nonetheless.
1:47 remaining in the first quarter. Adolfo Tamayo's PAT is good to tie the score. 7-7 is our score here on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Here at Big Tex Homes, we are a real estate solution company committed to serving the needs of the people. We're here to help and solve all your real estate needs, whether that be buying, selling, foreclosure, tax liens, probate short sales, or maybe a landlord that doesn't know what to do with a property. If you need this help, call us today at 903-472-0220 or visit our website at www.bigtexhome.com.
Kevin Brooks' second rushing touchdown on the year ties the score. Chapel Hill, Hallsville knotted up at 7. Adolfo Tamayo, I don't think he got all of that one. Fair caught at the 30.
That's a pooch kick, but that's awful short.
The way he kicked it was kind of, I think he might have got his toe stuck maybe. It's a little weird on that one, but Hallsville is going to take over at their own 30-yard line and try to continue what they did on that last drive. Really good job by that Hallsville offense. Moving down the field pretty methodically. Getting 6, mixing it up the play calls with rushing and through the air. We'll see if they continue that here on this drive. 1:47 remaining. Nicholson's going to get the ball. Stiffs arm the defender. Makes a nice cut. Gain of 9. 9.5, maybe 9 3/4 right there. The couple inches to go for a first down. Nice run there by Nicholson. Mosley on the outside smartly throws it away.
Yeah, nice decision there.
Mosley now has 6 passing touchdowns on the year. His long was 84 yards. 3rd and inches. 1:12 left in the first. Nicholson gets it again. He's going to get the first down and keep those feet moving to the 45. Another good start to this possession.
Yeah, just chipping away, picking up first downs, controlling the clock.
Now this
under a minute here in the first quarter.
This Hallsville team, they're 0-2 this year, but their first loss to Henderson was a 48-47 loss to the Lions. And last week, they were hanging in with Kilgore in the first half. Kilgore was able to pull away in the second, but it was a really close game in that first half against Kilgore, who was ranked number 7 at the time. So this isn't a bad football team by any stretch of the means.
No, they're just well tested. Very much so.
They're looking at the clock. They'll see if they're going to call a play before the end of the first, and I don't think that they will.
Yeah, they don't have to snap it, so. Like
Coaches are pulling off their headsets, so that's probably a pretty good indication that they're not going to snap it.
It's not quite the start we thought we were going to get, Logan, with the score. I mean, we were talking about fireworks and high-scoring game, and 7-7 first quarter, not really what we expected, but a good game nonetheless.
1 quarter down, 3 to go. We're all knotted up at 7 here in Hallsville, Texas. You're watching Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Wooden Bean, your locally owned drive-through coffee shop, is centrally located in Chapel Hill, diagonally across from the high school. Priding themselves in providing exceptional service and amazing drinks. From your standard coffee to lattes to signature cold brews, they have something for everyone. Teas, light fare breakfast, and a Red Bull fizz that would kickstart any morning. If you haven't been out to see them, today is the day. Can't miss them. They're in the blue shipping container, and their baristas are looking forward to fixing up something just for you. Come on in and drive through.
Aaron Murphy with Century 21 is on your team assisting with buying or selling a home. You can count on this math teacher to find the best deal and get the win. Call her for your real estate needs at 903-571-5882.
It'll be 2nd and 11 for Hallsville. Handoff goes to Nicholson, and he's met by a bunch of Bulldogs there on that defensive front. Led by LaDainian Mosley. Mosley, a senior on this team that's moved around a couple of positions on the defensive side of the ball. Played defensive tackle, moved out back to defensive end. Nicholson swings out. Rogoff's going to, off the fingertips, and incomplete.
A little behind him there. He had him open. Just threw it behind him.
And 4th down, and this is kind of like you said, Brett, earlier, no man's land.
Well,
might want to punt.
Yeah, we saw last week Livingston go with a fake punt about the same area.
Looks like Hallsville is just going to opt to keep their offense out.
You notice Chapel Hill doesn't have a man back this week either, because last week they had a man back on the fake punt, and that's where they kind of got burnt. So they're gonna play.
And it looks like Mosley's just gonna pooch it. Get a good Hallsville bounce inside the 20 and marked down at the 18.
Yeah, nice punt.
19-yard line, is where Chapel Hill will take over.
You don't see a whole lot of lining up for a punt anymore, just straight line up, unless you're just real deep. Kind of that fake punt option there kind of makes the receiving team have to think about what kind of defense they put out there, and they're not able to return it there. Like Chapel Hill had to play up for the fake, and whereas they able to pin them a little bit deeper than they might have.
You know, there's the school in Pulaski, I think it was in Arkansas, that never punted. That coach is now, I think coaching in the college level and still doesn't punt. He just says analytically doesn't make sense to punt. Handoff over here, DJ Williams trying to find the outside, and a good play there defensively by the Bobcat defense. Isaiah McDonald in there on the tackle for the Bobcats. No gain, 2nd and 10 now. $10:25 and counting remaining. Tyler Jones steps up, trying to find a man. Going to throw it. Caught by Austin Watkins, but I think he was maybe past the line of scrimmage, and there's 2 flags now on the play.
Yeah, you have one back here at the line of scrimmage and then one up here. Maybe it could be for a late hit there at the end.
We'll see what happens. The referees are going to talk about it. The referee was the one that threw the flag at the line of scrimmage. I don't know if Tyler Jones was past the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball or if they're going to call holding. So we'll see what the call is. So it will be offsetting penalties, holding and he said targeting for defensively.
I guess that's.
Nah, and I don't know the targeting rules in high school football.
I didn't either. I thought it might have been a late hit there on Watkins because it came in.
I guess
kinda
maybe
late.
that's what it was. Because if it was targeting the player that
Because he was kind of spinning around there and they blew the whistle, and then some Hallsville guys came in late.
delayed handoff again to Willis, and this Hallsville defensive line is getting that initial pressure, getting that initial push off the ball.
Yeah,
Has been
they're pushing Chapel Hill's line backwards.
all over this Chapel Hill offensive line, and a loss of 3 on the play. Brings up 3rd and 13. Tyler Jones back to pass. Receivers crossing. There is going to be a penalty, a flag thrown. Flips it off to Deuce McGregor. Just catches it across the 35 to the 37. But where that flag is usually holding, especially when the quarterback's scrambling.
Yeah. And Chapel Hill's kind of walking backwards like they understand the penalties against them.
So that's going to be a 10-yard penalty. So now 3rd and 23. .904 remaining in the first half. And a low-scoring game right now. Hallsville crowd trying to pump up this defense. It's going to be 3rd and 18. Jones bouncing around in the end zone, not where you want to be, and it's going to be a safety.
Wow. That's a big mistake there by Jones. Playing with the ball, and instead of just running, he should have just taken off and run and got a few yards and got out of the end zone. Instead, he played around with it, trying to make a play, and got swallowed by the Hallsville defense for the safety.
So Hallsville takes a 9-7 lead. Good defensive stand there from the Bobcats.
Yeah, their defense so far
has really played well.
I mean, to shut Chapel Hill down is tough to do, but they've controlled them so far. I mean, the one drive, Chapel Hill had to work for that touchdown. It wasn't like they just went out there and scored in 1 or 2 plays like they have some this season. So if you're Hallsville, you got to like the way your defense is playing right now.
So now Hallsville will get possession, try to extend their lead, and our offense has played pretty well as well. Ross back to receive the kick for Hallsville. And we typically see Adolfo Tamayo kind of pooch kick this one. We'll see if he puts all his leg behind it. And he definitely can't kick it. He's got a leg on him. .8:54 remaining in the first half, and Tamayo does go ahead and kick it. Caught at the 23-yard line, has plenty of space, trying to move to the outside, and finds a little hole. Rogas knocked out of bounds the midfield.
He almost got through there. If he gets through Chapel Hill there, he was probably gone. That was number 14, Daniel Waddleson there. It forced him out of bounds. Otherwise, he might have broke it for a touchdown.
So good field position for Hallsville. Besides the fumble on that first possession, Hallsville's offense has looked extremely good. Little flea flicker. Deep pass. Solomon McFoy there to break it up.
Great coverage by McFoy. He bid on the initial fake, was able to use his speed.
Yeah, closing speed down there.
I mean, in normal circumstances, that's going to be a touchdown. But McFoy, he was able to get back there, use that speed, and just basically run the route.
And when's the last time you saw a traditional flea flicker? Like, it never really run except in backyard football.
You used to see that a lot more, but you're right, Logan. They don't see it a whole lot. There's lots of other trick plays that are used. We've used several this year. But that one right there, you don't see that a whole lot. Usually it's like the running back throwing or a receiver or somebody like that.
This handoff goes to Nicholson. Going to just dive up the middle for a gain of 5.
Nice run there.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 5 now. So the Chapel Hill defense trying to get the 3 and out. We're now about 8 minutes and counting remaining in the first half.
And Hallsville's had the ball the majority of those minutes so far.
Mosley back to pass, looking right. LaDainian Mosley trying to catch him in. Wide open receiver in the middle of the field. Wow. Tackled at the 10-yard line. A great play there.
Ethan Miller?
Ethan Miller's 4th reception of the year is a big one.
That was
Gets
nice.
Hallsville inside the red zone.
Well, you can't say enough about the quarterback there. He made
first
that
and
play.
goal.
I mean, extending that play, it gave a chance to get open.
Ethan Nicholson, gain of about 4 on the play. 2nd and 6. Say the ball was on the 11-yard line, so you can still get a first down without scoring. Hallsville led by first-year head coach Josh Strickland. He was the offensive coordinator from Eaton High School in the Fort Worth area. He went 9-4 last year, made the 3rd round of the playoffs. He took over this job, and there, Nicholson's going to lose yardage. LaDainian Mosley again on the play. So Strickland came in last year at Eaton, the offensive coordinator, 9-4, went to the 3rd round, got the job pretty late. Hallsville's job didn't come open until later in the summer and didn't have a lot of time before summer workouts and the offseason started. Throwing it outside and not going to score.
I think he might have got enough for the first. It's going to be close.
So We'll see.
You got the spot about the 1, looks like.
About at the 1. They'll see if it's going to be 4th down or if it's going to be 1st and goal. It's going to be 1st and goal. Chapel Hill's going to play press coverage. They're just going to hand it off to Nicholson. And he's in there for the touchdown. So Hallsville looking good early. And that safety is big.
Yeah,
because now you go up 2 possessions.
That's going to come into play later down the line. So it's going to force someone to have to go for 2 or kick a field goal later.
And PAT is good. So Hallsville takes a 9-point lead, 16-7. Here is 6:07 remaining in the first half. You're watching Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Don't wait on the sidelines watching other homeowners. Get in the game. Whether you're dreaming of buying a home or wanting to sell the one you have, the right coach will help you build a winning team. Start by giving your friendly and experienced East Texas Realtor a call today. I'm Brandy Messenbring with the Property Shop Group, eXp Realty, 214-394-9180.
So Chapel Hill will get the ball down 9. Like I said, that's going to be a big difference. Now down 2 possessions with that safety and the score. I mean, it was a 9-point swing.
And they've used a lot of clock.
Yeah, it was about a 9-point swing in 3 minutes.
So we got 6 minutes to go here in the half.
And that kick's going to go to Alonzo McGregor, who bobbles it, picks it up at the 20-yard line. Has some space, going to tiptoe and cut back in. Oh, he stepped out of bounds right around the 39-yard line.
I thought he had a little hole there toward the middle that he could have cut in, but chose the outside route and still almost squeaked through. He's so elusive. Haven't seen much of McGregor tonight. Deuce has been quiet. Does he have a catch tonight, McGregor, leading receiver in East Texas?
No, he does not have a catch yet.
Well, he had the one catch and he got stuck right off the bat. He got
so
popped.
1 catch for about 2 yards.
Yeah, so Hallsville's done a good job on him.
Hand off DJ Williams, and that inside, the defensive tackles of Hallsville is getting initial pressure, and it is blowing up these inside zones from Chapel Hill, trying to get that running game established. And these defensive tackles for Hallsville, it's Dylan Morales there. He's been on a lot of plays for this Bobcat defense. Little swing pass over to Deuce McGregor. Here he is, and he slips. Loss of a yard. We'll bring up 3rd and 13.
There was about 3 guys as soon as they saw number 2 catch the ball, run right over to him. So they're definitely keeping an eye on him. What's going to help Chapel Hill is if they can get the ball to someone else, get a couple other guys hot. They've got 4 elite receivers out there to kind of take the pressure off of Deuce so they won't be able to double team him.
Jones trying to find some room, and there he is, Dylan Morales again. Making the play. He's had a heck of a night to start this one. And that's going to bring up 4th down, and the punt team is going to come on for Chapel Hill. At 4:30 remaining, so Hallsville is going to get the ball back.
Yeah.
With 4:30.
You got to imagine, too, the way they're playing offense right now. They're looking to go down and take all the clock and eat up all the time they can and try to get some points to end the half. So
Rugas.
Oh.
Tyler Jones is going to take off and hurdles a defender, but nowhere near the line to gain. So
it's an interesting decision there. He kind of fumbled it, but he still had room.
Had plenty of time, I feel like, to punt.
To punt it, and it's not that he's not used to it, because usually when they do that little quick snap, he punts it on the run. Could have easily punted around edge, but
and now gives Hallsville great field position to start this one.
Yeah, they only have 4 minutes, but they don't need very much time now with the way they're looking on offense.
Now you can take plenty of time off the clock, and, I mean, you get 2 first downs here in field goal range. You can at least get 3 if you trust your kicker.
Yeah, and they've got all 3 timeouts as well.
Mosley handoff to Nicholson. There's a bunch of Bulldogs there for the tackle, gain of 1. Going to bring 2nd and 10, so I'll say he actually didn't gain anything. 2nd and 10 now. Clock at 3.5 minutes remaining.
Both teams have all 3 timeouts here, so anything can happen in the last 3 minutes.
Fake. Going to throw it downfield. Solomon McFoy with the defense and knocks it away.
Nice coverage by McFoy. He was all.
Yeah, Solomon McFoy is the best defensive back that Chapel Hill has.
He didn't buy on the fake this time. He stayed right with him.
Smart stays with the defender. I mean, step for step while looking back at the ball. That's textbook by the senior Solomon McFoy, the senior leader on this defense. Now it's 3rd and 10. Hallsville's looking at their play call. Clock stopped at 3:17. Fake blitz coming. J.K. Davis there to force catch, and it's caught on that far side. We'll see they mark it. He kind of caught it and ran back, so that's going to bring up 4th down. He caught it at the line to gain, but was kind of knocked back a couple of yards and then try to make something happen. That's Cam Gott on his 2nd reception of the day. And a great catch there.
This will be interesting to see. This could go either way here. If Hallsville's able to pick up the first down, they could lead to a score. If Chapel Hill is able to stop them, they've got time to go down and score themselves. So a big play right here on 4th down to end the half.
2:35. And they're going to run a little bit of time off the clock here. I think Coach Strickland talking to the referee when you're going to call a timeout. When that play clock hits 1. There it is. Timeout. Strickland calls the timeout for Hallsville with 2:13 remaining in the first half and a big 4th down decision here with 4th and 5. Again, you're kind of in that no man's land. So do you go for it and try to continue this drive, or do you just pooch kick it? What do you do here?
I don't know. They've been clicking on offense, so one side I think go for it, but you're also up 2 possessions here. Do you just pin Chapel Hill and hope your defense can still close out the half? Because they've done a good job of keeping Chapel Hill contained. So it's a tough decision, though.
Look, if I'm Coach Strickland, I'm going for it here. 4th and 5. Your offense has played well. You've got them on the ropes. You're already up 2 possessions.
And do you come out with something funny here?
Possibly.
I mean,
you run the risk if you do that, if you haven't practiced it a lot. But
maybe
at 4th and 5, you kind of got your whole playbook there because you're still in a manageable distance there.
Yeah, you can run or pass. So
Nicholson's probably been getting 4 or 5 yards of carry on most of his runs up the middle. So they look like they're lined up to go for it.
Loading the short side over there. Lots of space on the near side for us. Hallsville
They're
coach
gonna
is changing up the
change
formation.
things up a little bit. Looks like Chapel Hill will be in a man defense Rogas across the middle. Solomon McFoy breaks up
nice
the
play.
pass.
McFoy,
No flags.
Another great coverage by McFoy. That's 3 tonight. He's broken up.
I mean, he is all over Rogas, Hallsville's leading receiver. And right there, a great defensive play.
Yeah, now Chapel Hill has all 3 timeouts, 2 minutes and 9 seconds left, and plenty of time for them to get going. They just need one play, as we've seen several times this year. Solomon
Solomon McFoy is a guy that's getting some looks at the Division I level. I know he went to the UTSA camp down there with Coach Jeff Traylor. Samari Willis, gain of 1.
They keep going back to that run. It's not been successful really so far, but they keep going back to it. I'm interested to see if they fake one of these and try to go deep with the receiver.
So 140 now. Fake to Willis, and there it is. Wide open. Javen Mayfield catches it.
Caught.
And they'll see if they caught it.
Oh.
Incomplete. Saying he was out of bounds when he caught it, but what a grab there by Mayfield. Just couldn't get the foot in bounds.
Well, did they hear me?
Now it's 3rd and 9 with 1:31.
That was it. They had Hallsville. They were getting them lulled to sleep on that run, and Mayfield was there.
What a job by Mayfield to track that in the air over his shoulder and make the catch. Just couldn't get that foot in bounds. Tyler Jones flings it wide open. Austin Watkins catches it in the basket. Walks into the end zone. Touchdown. Chapel Hill.
Nice play there. Jones made the play, rolled outside, and Watkins is like, hey, guys, I'm wide open. Toss me the ball.
So the decision to go for it on 4th by Hallsville gives Chapel Hill possession, and they score on the 4th play of the possession. That's a 65-yard pass.
Yeah,
from Tyler Jones to Austin Watkins. That's Watkins' 2nd receiving touchdown on the year. His first was last week. The PAT by Adolfo DeMaio is up and good. So with 1:21 remaining, it's a 2-point game now. Hallsville 16, Chapel Hill 14. Here on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Big Mike's Billiards, proud sponsor of Chapel Hill basketball. With 25 years experience in the pool table moving and service industry, Big Mike's strives to ensure complete satisfaction. The quality and care he and his team put into every move and every service call is the highest standard of service in the industry. Big Mike sells and services some of the best pool tables available today. He is an expert at caring for and moving any type of billiard table, whether it's across the room or across the country. At Big Mike's Billiards, no pool table repair job is too big or too small. Whether your table needs new cushions, felt, or to be professionally aligned and leveled, Big Mike is the guy to trust. Call Big Mike today at 903-842-4499.
About 1:21 remaining till they go to the locker room, and that kick is going to go out of bounds. 16-14 our score, as Hallsville leads Chapel Hill. Man, what an interesting first half. This first half is similar to last week's with Kilgore and Hallsville. Hallsville stuck around with Kilgore that entire first half, and in the second half, Kilgore was able to pull away for a 49-27 win. But it was a close game to start. This Hallsville team last season 0-9 last season, but they had 3 COVID forfeits, which is brutal, especially for your seniors last year.
Yeah, that hurts. No one wants to go that 0-9, and they have to lose 3 of them without even getting to play them.
Mosley throws it out of bounds. Mosley's smart decisions. He's thrown the ball out of bounds a couple of times. The clock was running, and I think they're going to put a couple of seconds maybe back on the clock.
They've got it at 1:10 now. We'll see what they end up setting it. Looks like it's going to stay.
Yeah, I
at
guess
1:10.
no one's going to notice. They lost about 4 seconds there. Mosley again dropping out to pass, and he's got plenty of space on that far side, runs out of bounds.
So he got about half of that back, maybe 5 or 6 there. It's a nice decision there.
Yeah, been really good decision-making from the junior quarterback.
He was even
Throwing it out of bounds.
He was directing blockers on that play. I mean, he was pointing, telling, "Hey, block guys, I got a lane." So very impressive. Especially coming in with a new offense. I'm sure probably the new coach brought in and not having much time to get prepared for it. So that's another thing that's impressive.
Mosley is 5th in East Texas in passing yards this season. Came into the game with 550 yards through the air. Here he's going to try to run for the first down and gets it.
He can also run if he needs to.
Mosley averaging 275 yards through the air in the first 2 games. First down, now 51 seconds remaining. Hallsville still has 2 timeouts. Going to throw it deep. Got a receiver. It's Nicholson over the shoulder. Makes the catch. Tackled at the 22-yard line.
Nice grab by the running back, Nicholson. We talked about it earlier, the dual threat run and catch. He was the second leading receiver on the team, so, I mean, he can line up anywhere out there.
Mosley again rolling to his right, overthrows the receiver. I think he thought he was going to turn upfield a little bit. Little miscommunication, but clock will stop now with 39 seconds remaining. 2nd and 10, ball on the 22-yard line.
Nothing wrong with an incompletion like that. I mean, it kills the clock, gets them a chance to get another play out there. Saw Tom Brady do that a few times last night.
No, I don't want to talk about it. Mosley trying to find somebody. Defense all over him, loses the ball, but gets on top of it.
Looks like they're going to get a timeout here on that one.
28 seconds and loss of about 8 or 9 on the play. Luckily, he got on top of that. There's 3 Bulldogs right there.
Yeah, the odds.
Mosley just dove on top of it. Again, another smart play there. Don't just pick it up.
The odds weren't
Possession's
in his favor.
better.
The odds weren't in his favor at all there. It was definitely against him, but he was able to get back on it. Again, very good football IQ.
31 seconds here in the first half. And a half that really the scoreboard, I don't think, really reflects how well Hallsville has played.
Yeah.
I mean, they played almost perfectly. Besides the fumble in that first possession, it's been almost a flawless game for Hallsville. I mean, they've had a couple of mistakes. The one mistake on the touchdown on that last defensive possession, but I mean, they have played fantastic football.
Yeah, if you're Coach Reardon in Chapel Hill and you get into the locker room with this score, you're not happy with the performance, but you're happy where you're at because you could be down a lot more, as well as Hallsville's played tonight.
Strickland. Josh Strickland there. Going with the size of quarterback runs, the best way to go. And I think, see, it's now 4th down.
No timeouts are called. They're going to take their time.
No timeouts. We'll see if they try to kick a field goal to extend the lead to 5.
Looks like that's what they're going to do.
And there's the timeout with 3 seconds remaining. And now
that is their last timeout of the half.
we'll stay here as they're going to try to jot out the kicker
I mean,
for a field goal. I mean, at this point,
do you see a kicker? Did the kicker go in the huddle? I didn't, unless one of the kickers on the field already. Interesting to see.
we'll see what they decide. I mean, would be a pretty long field goal. You're looking at like a 36-yarder.
Kicker's listed as Joel Ontiveros, number 9. So he's right there in a baseball cap.
Yeah, so that's not –
So
maybe we'll see what happens.
Unless they have
I think number 16 is their kicker, Caleb Whimsy. Now they're going to – I hope they're keeping their offense out there. So one last play to the end zone will be the call here.
That's interesting. I guess they're not going to take any chances of letting Chapel Hill get the ball back, so they're just going to take one shot here at the end zone.
And Chapel Hill will take a timeout. Don't want any trickery here, and Coach Reardon takes his first timeout.
Yeah,
can't take them with you to the locker room, so might as well.
Can't, and they don't carry over either, unfortunately. So they've got to think he probably just got to look at the lineup formation. He's going to try to maybe reflect back to some game film.
Yeah, we'll see if Coach Strickland at Hallsville decides to change up the play call that he had just called or stay with it now that Chapel Hill had seen the formation.
All this strategic stuff going into this game. It's one of those where they just maybe they flip a player or two, or they could come out in a completely different formation.
So it'll be one play to the end zone. We know that much. Unless they try to just get it underneath and make a play happen, which we've seen a couple of we've seen a couple of plays being made across the middle, and yards after catch was really a big deal.
So we'll see what they drew up here for this one.
Mosley back to pass. Going to step up, heave it to the end zone. Isaiah Brooks is going to get the interception, and that will be the end of the first half. Hallsville has played an incredible game. They lead 16-14 here at the end of first. You're watching Texas high school football on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. We'll be back with the second half.
Here at Big Tex Homes, we are a real estate solution company committed to serving the needs of the people. We're here to help and solve all your real estate needs, whether that be buying, selling, foreclosure, tax liens, probate short sales, or maybe a landlord that doesn't know what to do with a property. If you need this help, call us today at 903-472-0220 or visit our website at www.bigtexhome.com.
Welcome back to Bobcat Stadium here in Hallsville, Texas, where Hallsville has a 16-14 lead as we head into the second half of play. A recap of the first half, it was a really well-played first half for the Hallsville Bobcats. Didn't have a lot of mistakes, had a safety and a touchdown and a 9-point swing. Chapel Hill answered with a touchdown of their own to make it a 2-point game. And it was a really sloppy half for Chapel Hill and a really well-executed half for the Hallsville Bobcats. So if you're head coach Jeff Reardon of the Chapel Hill Bulldogs, you're probably in a pretty good spot considering where you are, especially now getting the ball to start the second half. Elijah Nicholson has a receiving touchdown on the night for Hallsville. Austin Watkins has a receiving touchdown for Chapel Hill. And Tyson Berry and Alonzo McGregor are going to be back to receive for Chapel Hill. They'll kick it over to Tyson Berry, caught around the 13-yard line, and we begin the second half of play. Tyson Berry hits a hole. Tyson Berry switches hands. Berry's going to cross midfield, push out of bounds. Cross midfield at the 44-yard line. A heck of a return by Tyson Berry sets up Chapel Hill in excellent field position to start off this second half. Berry's had 2 really good returns in this game for the Bulldogs, and there puts them in excellent field position. Something that Chapel Hill really hasn't had a lot of so far in this one.
No, they've been back in their own territory. This is the first time they've started across in other teams' territory.
Handoff to Samari Willis on the far side. Samari Willis hits the hole, and a good gain there. Gain of about 7, 8 yards. Going to bring up 2nd and 2. It'll be interesting to see the halftime adjustments that Chapel Hill made. Coach Jeff Reardon in his 3rd season here with the Bulldogs. Tyler Jones trying to find any room. We'll see where they mark him. They're going to say no gain, so it's going to be 3rd and 2 now. Coach Reardon in his 3rd season, 12-13, trying to get to 500 with a win tonight. Of course, his first year was a pretty rocky year. Last year went 8-5. And so far this year, 2-0 to start the season. Samari Willis with the handoff. He's going to be tripped up by his own player. And it's going to be right at the line to gain.
Looks like he's
maybe
just short.
A couple inches short, yeah.
Yeah.
Going to be 4th and inches, and Chapel Hill will go for it here on 4th down.
Got Brooks on the field. They're bruiser back. They like to hand it off the ball, too, in short situations. Let's see if they give it to him here. Nope, Jones keeps it.
Jones keeps it, gets the first down, cuts back inside, makes a move to the outside, slips around, and gets tackled at the 19-yard line.
Nice play call.
So Chapel Hill in business now inside the red zone on their first possession of the second half. 1st and 10. 10-15 and counting here in the third quarter. Jones hands off to Brooks. Brooks, little stutter step and nice gain. About 5-6 yards. Want to give you a couple of scores from around the East Texas area in District 9 4A. Chapel Hill obviously here 16-4. Henderson over Jacksonville 14-0 to start the third quarter. And an upset alert so far, Pine Tree 21, Kilgore 13.
Wow.
Kilgore, the number 5 team in the state in Class 4A. Jones fires it into the end zone, incomplete, intended for Tyson Berry. Lindale over Van 21-14 at the half. Maybank over Wills Point 36-0. Rusk right now beating Palestine 14-3. Rusk is where former Chapel Hill head coach Thomas Sitton is. And he's got his Rusk Eagles over the Palestine Wildcats 14-3. And 29-0 Athens over Fairfield right now. We'll get you some District 9 5A scores here in just a second as Kevin Brooks gets the handoff. He's going to get the first down and more. Kevin Brooks inside the 5, tackled at the 4. And the Bulldogs are in business on their first offensive possession in this second half. Deuce McGregor with the end around, tries to make a man miss, tries to get into the end zone. He's going to be stopped right at the line to gain, so it's going to be 2nd down and 3. Tyler Jones going to keep quarterback, trying to get into the end zone. Another great defensive play there from the Hallsville defense. Katorvi and McMillan there on the stop for the Bobcats. Now 3rd and 3. So Chapel Hill just trying to get into the end zone. Had it 1st and goal at the 3, and now no gains on back-to-back run plays. Yeah, we'll see what offensive play call. Offensive coordinator Johnny Irvin and head coach Jeff Reardon, playing this one. J.K. Davis, little end around to Tyson Berry. He's got all sorts of space, and Tyson Berry gets to the pylon for a Chapel Hill touchdown.
Nice run there by Berry. That end around's been working for him tonight.
So Berry had a great return to start off this drive, and he gets the call to end it, and it ends in 6. Adolfo Tamayo comes on to try to add that PAT. PAT is up and good, so Chapel Hill takes the lead for the first time in the ballgame. 21-16 our score, 7:41 remaining here in the third quarter. You're watching Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Wooden Bean, your locally owned drive-through coffee shop, is centrally located in Chapel Hill, diagonally across from the high school. Priding themselves in providing exceptional service and amazing drinks. From your standard coffee to lattes to signature cold brews, they have something for everyone. Teas, light fare breakfast, and a Red Bull fizz that would kickstart any morning. If you haven't been out to see them, today is the day. Can't miss them. They're in the blue shipping container, and their baristas are looking forward to fixing up something just for you. Come on in and drive through.
Tyson Berry, the birthday boy, adds a score for Chapel Hill. And the Bulldogs now have a 21-16 lead, and the ball's on the ground. Chapel Hill recovers it. Chapel Hill will get the ball at the 31-yard line after recovering. Drew Harmon there to get the ball. Jack Holliday had called for the fair catch, and it just kind of slipped in between his hands there on the return. So Chapel Hill now going to get the ball back. Again, inside Hallsville territory.
So those changes that Coach Reardon made at half, adjustments so far are paying off. Maybe caught a good break there with the turnover, but couldn't have drawn it up any better.
Now 7:34 still remaining in the first half, or the third quarter. Chapel Hill with their first lead of the night, trying to add to it. DJ Williams, little sidestep and a good run there by DJ Williams. Gets across the 25 to the 24-yard line. DJ Williams has really come on this season. 2nd and 3 now. Low snap. Tyler Jones picks it up, tries to make something happen, and he slips. And that's going to be a loss of a lot. Loss of 5, and Tyler Jones is down. And we're going to take a timeout with him.
Aaron Murphy with Century 21 is on your team assisting with buying or selling a home. You can count on this math teacher to find the best deal and get the win. Call her for your real estate needs at 903-571-5882.
Don't wait on the sidelines watching other homeowners. Get in the game. Whether you're dreaming of buying a home or wanting to sell the one you have, the right coach will help you build a winning team. Start by giving your friendly and experienced East Texas Realtor a call today. I'm Brandy Messenbring with the Property Shop Group, eXp Realty, 214-394-9180.
So Tyler Jones, starting quarterback for Chapel Hill, is going to take a breather. He did get up on his own power and jogged off to the sideline, so he will catch a break, and it's going to be backup quarterback freshman Demetrius Bribson, who's going to drop back to pass, throws it downfield. Deuce McGregor tries to make something happen, and it's going to be a flag on the play.
Well, we had
two flags.
Well, Chapel Hill's offensive lineman tackled a defensive lineman, so it's going to be a holding here on one play. I don't know the end zone.
I think it's going to be pass interference.
So we may have negating penalties. That would replay the third down try here.
Yeah, so they'll replay third down, holding in pass interference. So they will replay the third down play, and Tyler Jones will come back in at quarterback. So the one-play breather for Tyler Jones, and it didn't even count. Nothing. It didn't count the play that happened.
He technically didn't even miss
Samari Willis with a stiff arm. Samari Willis got blockers in front of him. Willis across the 15 inside the 5-yard line. Tackled at the 4. They're going to mark him at the 3-yard line.
We got laundry on the field.
And, yes, we do have a flag and might be holding on one of the receivers.
Yeah, they both had a pretty good block there. Maybe they had some jersey in there.
Maybe too good of a block. That's going to –
question is, did he get the first down first?
They'll see where they spot it.
It may not be much.
Going to be holding.
And a couple yards, 2 or 3 yards penalty, I guess, since they marked it at the end of the run or where the penalty took place.
So it's going to be.
Oh, so they are going to give them the first, I guess. Yeah. We'll see what they're confused.
Yeah,
no?
So it's going to be third down, 3rd and 9. Tyler Jones, little quarterback draw up the middle, and it is bottled up by that defense of the Hallsville Bobcats.
And you had about 5.
Gavin Mendez there made the initial contact and just kept driving the feet.
It was 1-on-5 there. Jones had nowhere to go. Hallsville had that play sniffed out. Be interesting to see here what Chapel Hill decides to do.
Looks like they're getting a substitution on the offensive line.
You've got 4th and 10. You could try to pick up the first, or Jones could run around over there and pooch it and pin Hallsville deep. He is the punter as well, so that makes for an interesting bag of options here.
Credit to this Hallsville defense. They've played well, and Coach Reardon going to take a timeout. They're going to take a timeout. 21-16 with 5:17 remaining in the third quarter on a very interesting fourth down, 4th and 10, and the ball's on the 31-yard line, so kind of in no man's land here. You got to obviously have 10 to get the first. But, I mean, the Hallsville defense has been playing stellar.
Yeah, they've really,
couple miscues, but other than that, I mean, they've been playing really well
this is
for this Hallsville Bobcats team.
It's a Chapel Hill offense that's averaging 49 points a game. And right now, they're well below that.
So a big fourth down here. 5:17 remaining in the third quarter, and we're going to have 3 wide receivers near side. Austin Watkins going to be up top. They're just going to throw it to Watkins, and he's going to make the catch and try to fight for that first down.
I think he's got
and
it.
he's got it.
Wow.
Great play, great effort there by Austin Watkins.
He almost ran backwards. I thought maybe for a second he was not going to get it because he had the first down originally. Then he ran backwards, but then with the extra effort there, reached the ball across for the first down.
A great play there by the junior, the 6'5 junior, Watkins. DJ Williams is going to not have the ball. It's going to be Tyler Jones on the outside.
Uh-oh, the Hallsville coach is not happy about something.
I think he was thinking that McFoy also grabbed jersey on that one. Second and 8. $20 seconds left in the play clock, so plenty of time still for Chapel Hill. Play clock down to 13. And the snap. Tyler Jones looking for his receivers. Can't find anybody. Trying to find something. Sneaks up the middle, and Jones slides right at the first down marker, and there's a penalty flag.
I didn't see anything there. It was kind of late. As they got a hold that the flag just came in after he slid.
We'll see what the call is. Yeah, it was kind of a late flag, so I don't know if there was holding.
Block in the back they're going to call. Ouch.
So in Chapel Hill's first game against Greenville, a lot of penalties, a sloppy first game, still got the win, but had 3 touchdowns called back on penalties. Last game kind of cleaned up the penalties, but tonight the penalty bug kind of has come back in this one.
It hadn't been as bad, but there have been some big penalties on some big plays that have been called back basically on silly mistakes.
Jones back to pass, looking right, running right. Throws it downfield up to Austin Watkins. Watkins with his second touchdown of the game.
Great catch by
Austin Watkins. When you have a 6'5 frame, you can kind of throw it up. And the second receiving touchdown for Austin Watkins tonight is 3rd on the year.
It didn't look like anybody was open there for a minute, and then he just almost like they made eye contact, and Jones like, all right, go get it, Watkins, and he just kind of threw it up to him, and he just out-jumped him. Almost like an alley-oop in basketball there.
PAT's up and good. 14 unanswered. Chapel Hill extends the lead. They now lead 28-16 with 3:59 remaining in the third quarter. Here on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Big Mike's Billiards, proud sponsor of Chapel Hill basketball. With 25 years experience in the pool table moving and service industry, Big Mike's strives to ensure complete satisfaction. The quality and care he and his team put into every move and every service call is the highest standard of service in the industry. Big Mike sells and services some of the best pool tables available today. He is an expert at caring for and moving any type of billiard table, whether it's across the room or across the country. At Big Mike's Billiards, no pool table repair job is too big or too small. Whether your table needs new cushions, felts, or to be professionally aligned and leveled, Big Mike is the guy to trust. Call Big Mike's today at 903-842-4499.
So 14 unanswered points for Chapel Hill coming out of the halftime locker room, and Adolfo Tamayo is going to kick this one right back to Holiday, who also drops it again, but this time and drops it, but is picks it up and returns it. So Hallsville's offense going to see the field for the first time. In this second half, they had a really efficient first half, moving the ball down the field, had the fumble on the first possession and an interception on the last, but the interception was thrown into the end zone on the last play of the half. So it's one of those that, yeah, it's gonna be Mosley's third interception on the year, but not one that's real costly. 1st and 10 now at their own 25. And things are getting a little chippy out on the field between the two teams. Referees are going to have to do something. So 2nd and 10 now for Hallsville. Mosley keeps it off the quarterback run, runs left side, and is hit. Huge hit by J.K. Davis.
Ooh. Man.
But Mosley pops back up, ready for the next play. But a massive hit there by the senior J.K. Davis.
He lined him up on that one.
Yeah, he's had a couple big hits in the first couple of games of the season. First handoff goes to Nicholson, and he's going to break free. Tackled at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Nicholson again. He's had a nice night on the running plays. He's been big. He's also caught several nice passes.
Nicholson, the senior, who at the beginning of the night was crowned homecoming king for the Hallsville Bobcats.
So it's been a pretty good night for the senior.
Gets another handoff up the middle, and a whole pack of Bulldogs there on the tackle. LaDanian Mosley, J.K. Davis, and flags all over the place.
Uh-oh. And they're having to hold somebody. And you don't want to see this. This is not – it's been a really good competitive football game, and you just hope they can get these guys settled down.
They're going to huddle the two teams.
Well, I think the ref's got his hat. He must have threw his
Yeah,
hat for a
thrown
flag.
multiple flags here.
When the ref has to lose his hat, you know it's been a interesting play. That's their second flag, as we mentioned. What's their third flag, Logan? You know, do they have a way to throw a third flag?
I don't know.
I've never.
I'm sure you never hope it gets to that point.
I know. I just kind of. I mean, what do? You hold.
Guess you just document it down. I don't know. I'm really not sure.
I just.
Hopefully, one person's not throwing three flags on a play. That's. While we take a break, I want to show you, though, 9-5A. So Hallsville's district, some scores there. Marshall over McKinney North, 38-23. The Tyler High School Lions over Nacogdoches, 30-6. Henderson over Jacksonville, 14-7. 0. Pine Tree over Kilgore 28-19. Corsicana leading White House 9-7. And then yesterday, Texas High beat Forney 34-13. So that's final from yesterday's game. But some big games in this. These two districts are playing each other a lot. The 5A District 9, you got Hallsville, Jacksonville, and Pine Tree all playing 9 4A teams this week.
When you got they're so close in size. You got 5A D2 and 4A, D1. So it's just a number of kids change.
Yeah, it's really. I was actually looking at that today in the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, and I mean Chapel Hill only has maybe 150 kids less than Hallsville does.
It's a very slim margin. So that's where you see like teams like Lindale that have been in this district in the past with Hallsville, I believe.
Yeah, I think Lindale might have more students than Hallsville.
They may now. When it gets to that. Let's see what they call here.
All right, so if I heard correctly, the whole team on both teams are getting a personal foul. So any second personal foul will be resulting in an ejection.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this, Logan. Have you ever heard it called like that?
I have not, but that's probably the right thing to do.
Yeah, you had so many guys out there getting into it, but I've never heard it called that way. Usually you have one or two players that they called on, not the whole team. So this is a turning point right here in the game.
But you've got to remain calm. You cannot let your emotions get the best of you in these situations. One play will get you thrown out of the game now.
Yep.
You cannot let it happen.
So we'll see what comes of this. Hallsville stands are getting loud here. They're getting on their feet for their team.
Yeah, the Hallsville faithful showing their support.
There's not many open seats here on this side either.
Mosley back to pass, throws it up, and McFoy is going to knock it down.
And McFoy's had an incredible game.
A really good game. Bring up 3rd and 10. I'm telling you, he's one of the best defensive backs probably in East Texas.
If you're looking for somebody out there, give this guy a look. He's had an incredible game.
Yeah, very fundamental. Plays the ball a lot. Always has his head turned around. Doesn't have a lot of pass interference calls, and they throw at him a lot.
It's really surprising. Of course, Brooks on the other side is a very talented corner too.
Man motioning over. Screen pass.
Oh.
And that one's bottled up. J.K. Davis with the tackle.
There he is again. Davis. I think what Davis has been big on this year.
And it's going to bring up 4th down, loss of a couple.
He's got a lot more energy because he's not having to carry as much load on offense. If you notice when they're rotating the backs, Davis is one of those guys that rotates in. With them having 3 or 4 backs, it's giving him a lot more energy on defense, and he's made an impact.
Yeah, this Chapel Hill team has a lot. They rotate a ton of players in.
It's a nice luxury to have.
Mosley back to pass, looking for a receiver. He has one open across the middle, and that's going to be right at the line to gain. They're going to get the first down.
Wow.
So a huge 4th down conversion on 4th and 13.
It's like they knew right where the stick was, and he ran the route right to the stick and made the play.
That's a heads-up play there by Cam Gott, the senior. Knows exactly where it's going to be.
And the Hallsville coach, again, is upset with something.
Yeah, so the Samari Willis, there was a late substitution. Samari Willis was on the field when they snapped it, so it should have been a penalty for too many men on field, and they didn't throw the flag, so I think that's what that was.
Yeah, he had another coach had to pull him back. He was at the numbers.
And there it was. So there's the penalty.
Yeah, that hurry-up offense, they got the snap on before Chapel could get their changes in.
Now it's 1st and 5 after the penalty. 1:13 remaining in the 3rd quarter here in Hallsville. Mosley keeps it, throws it out with a little run pass option. And a great play outside. Ethan Miller gets the first down and inside the red zone, and there's a flag on the play. I think it's going to be a personal foul. I'll see the call, but it was a late penalty on the sideline.
Yeah, it's usually some kind of extracurricular when that's the case. Oh, there's that. There's
Wow.
what we just talked about, Logan.
So there it is. And there's another flag. There's another flag.
I think one of the Hallsville players might have said
No,
something.
I think that Hallsville coach
Oh, did he?
who's on the numbers. And that's a big blow to Hallsville.
Ooh.
We'll see what happens here. This is going to be interesting. Big blow to Hallsville. The Carter Rogas is the player that was ejected. Yeah, so Rogas is the one that was ejected, and he is their playmaker.
So that's 30 yards and penalties right here. Wow.
So first and goal from the 40.
Oh, yeah, you don't see that very often.
This is where you got to be careful.
Yeah,
With the whole team getting a
Yeah,
personal foul.
That was a statement made by the refs.
Absolutely.
Like we're not going to put up with anything else, and we're going to get this game under control. And if you don't like it,
And
then
honestly,
you're going to sit out.
that's a very smart move by the referees.
Yeah, because it escalated very quickly.
Very quickly. So first and goal from the 40. And Rogas, who's the leading receiver for this team, is disqualified. Trying to find a receiver, and that's incomplete.
There's coverage there by Brooks.
Second and goal. I mean, it's kind of weird to say second and goal when the ball's almost at the midfield.
I mean, yeah, it's about as far back as you get with second and goal. I mean,
It's weird to see the first down markers just on the ground over there.
and they're getting a break.
Huge play, and it's incomplete.
Brooks just got a hand in there and knocked it out.
Incomplete, third down. Just the desperation heave to the end, trying to see if they can get a big play there.
I like the play call. It almost worked out. I mean, it was really on target. If not for Brooks' getting his hand in the middle of the receiver, just kind of poked it out.
40 seconds remaining and counting. The clock is running still, which I don't know why it's running. And incompletion. Alice, there is a running room. He's going to find some room and gets 20 yards on the play.
He got half of it back.
So it's going to be fourth and goal from the 20. Mosley's done a great job on the ground as well. He's been patient in finding the holes running the football. So they're going to take it to the fourth quarter. Chapel Hill leads 28-16 at the end of 3. It'll be fourth down when we come back here on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. We start the fourth quarter here as Hallsville trying to score here on fourth and goal from the 21. Going to try to score on this one. And it fades up, and Isaiah Brooks incomplete, but it's a good thing he didn't catch it.
Yeah, that was a good no catch there.
I guess it would have been 1 yard difference. Yeah,
It would have been about the same.
about 1 yard. So Chapel Hill will take over up 12, 5 seconds into the fourth quarter.
I would say good defensive stand, but the penalties kind of just
penalties really was what got them.
Yeah, shot themselves in the foot, getting a first and goal from the 40. It's a tough way to have to score there.
So this is the 23rd meeting between Hallsville and Chapel Hill. Hallsville leads the all-time record 16-6. DJ Williams runs on the outside, stays on his feet, bounced around, and gains a couple. Hallsville leads the all-time series 16-6, but Chapel Hill has won the last two meetings, which was not. It's been.
How long has it been?
Been 10 years.
Okay.
Been 10 years since these two teams have played. The last time, 2011, Chapel Hill went on. They beat Hallsville 29-22 at home and went on to win the state championship that year.
Yes.
Tyler Jones deep downfield to Deuce McGregor, but a great play there defensively. It's Ethan Miller, number 28.
He's had a good
Don't
night.
have that on my roster. Do you have a 28 on your roster for Hallsville?
Yes, Ethan Miller.
Ethan Miller? Okay,
Yep.
so he was, guess they switched numbers. He was 26, now 28.
He's had a good night. He's caught a couple of big passes there and makes a great play at safety. I mean, to stay with Deuce like that, that's impressive.
Yeah, ball was a little underthrown, and Ethan Miller was able to make the play. So now it's 3rd and 7. Jones steps up, has some room. He's going to take off, has plenty of room, gets the first down and more, steps out of bounds. First down at the 37-yard line.
It's a good job by Jones there and making a play when nothing else was going on downfield. Also running right in the middle of Hallsville's team. Thankfully, nothing else happened down there. Just got to pay attention to that the rest of the game on both sidelines.
So first down at the 37. Handoff, another delayed handoff to Samari Willis. Willis up the middle, runs over to the defender at midfield, and is taken down at the 49-yard line.
Willis was the one laying the wood on that. Put his head down and ran over the Hallsville defense on his way to a first down. Nice run by Willis. Chapel's run game is kind of picking up. You know, that Hallsville had kind of contained that through the first half, but the second half they've kind of established the run a little bit more.
Jones trying to find somebody, finds Watkins off the hands.
It's a tough play. Catchable, but just a tough play. It's a good effort there by Watkins to try to keep his feet in and catch it.
10-17 remaining in the ball game. Chapel Hill scored 14 points in the third quarter, and that's the difference right now. There's a went into the locker room down 2.
If you're Hallsville, you got to be thinking deja vu, like you talked about in the beginning with the Kilgore game. Kind of stayed in the game, and second half, 4A teams just started pulling away.
Jones back to pass, throws it up. Samari Willis wide open, makes the defender miss, and Willis is going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Chapel Hill.
Nice play.
Had 2 receivers right there.
Yeah, Willis made a great catch and then just kind of let the defender go by him. And he just ran on in for the score.
It's hard to defend two players when,
I
when
mean,
you're a safety.
yeah,
You got two wide open receivers.
I mean, who do you get? He did made the right decision. You go guard Deuce, no doubt. But, Willis just as dangerous there.
Tamayo's kick up and good. 10:04 remaining. Chapel Hill extends their lead. It's now 35-16 here on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Here at Big Tex Homes, we are a real estate solution company committed to serving the needs of the people. We're here to help and solve all your real estate needs, whether that be buying, selling, foreclosure, tax lien, probate short sales, or maybe a landlord that doesn't know what to do with a property. If you need this help, call us today at 903-472-0220 or visit our website at www.bigtexhome.com.
Chapel Hill has come out, scored 21 unanswered in the second half. Tamayo's kick is in the end zone for a touchback. And we'll update you on some scores in the District 9 4A. Henderson still up on Jacksonville 14-0 with 6:38 left in the fourth quarter. Pine Tree over number 7 Kilgore right now, 28-19. Lindale has a 10-point lead over Van, 31-21. Maybank over Wills Point, 49-0 in the fourth quarter. Rusk over Palestine, 21-11. And Athens over Fairfield, 43-6. So those are some scores in District 9 4A. Again, a lot of those games are also the games for District 9 5A.
Oh,
And
man, they're
a
all
couple
over.
of tacklers there.
Chapel Hill, that play.
Lee Preston and Jatavian Watson together on the tackle. Elijah Nicholson, he's had a good second half. He's had plenty of yards. But the penalties really hurt the Bobcats in that last possession. But Nicholson had a huge run in that last possession for Hallsville. 9:24, Mosley up top to Gant, and he makes the catch. Across the 40, stops for a second, and tackled inside the 35-yard line, and there is a penalty.
I believe that's going to be on Brack Dyer there, and he may be ejected. I think it was a late hit. We'll see what they call, but
Thought he'd already had made that contact when,
well, it was close, and
then he threw the flag.
Yeah, right when he hit him, it looked like they threw the flag. Be a tough break for Mr. Dyer. We hadn't called his name a whole lot. He's led the team in tackles the last 2 weeks, but it's been kind of quiet this evening. I guess they're not going to call it personal foul, so he gets to stay in
Yeah,
the
he got
game.
the personal foul, but not the unsportsmanlike. Unsportsmanlike, you get the ejection. Personal foul, I think, is okay.
So when did they start calling the targeting rule? Is that new? Because I don't remember high school ever have used.
I don't know, and
using
not
that
the term targeting.
I know they've brought it down to the college level, but I just didn't know that they'd. I'm kind of curious to look that up this week. Because it's the first time I've ever heard them use the targeting language. Usually it's just personal foul, late hit.
So now in the red zone, Nicholson up the middle, gain of 4. Nicholson's been the workhorse for this Hallsville team tonight. Nicholson bounce outside. Nicholson with the nice stiff arm. And a player is down. And we're going to take a break.
Wooden Bean, your locally owned drive-through coffee shop, is centrally located in Chapel Hill, diagonally across from the high school. Priding themselves in providing exceptional service and amazing drinks. From your standard coffee to lattes to signature cold brews, they have something for everyone. Teas, light fare breakfast, and a Red Bull fizz that would kickstart any morning. If you haven't been out to see them, today is the day. Can't miss them. They're in the blue shipping container, and their baristas are looking forward to fixing up something just for you. Come on in and drive through.
Aaron Murphy with Century 21 is on your team assisting with buying or selling a home. You can count on this math teacher to find the best deal and get the win. Call her for your real estate needs at 903-571-5882.
Don't wait on the sidelines watching other homeowners. Get in the game. Whether you're dreaming of buying a home or wanting to sell the one you have, the right coach will help you build a winning team. Start by giving your friendly and experienced East Texas Realtor a call today. I'm Brandy Messenbring with the Property Shop Group, eXp Realty, 214-394-9180.
To the players off and going to be tended to on the sideline. And it's first and goal, ball on the 8-yard line for Hallsville, trying to score for the first time in the second half. Mosley, a little low snap. He rolls out to his left, stops trying to reverse field and throws it away. And gets, I guess they're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage, so no intentional grounding.
It was close.
But again, Mosley just smart heads-up football IQ.
Yeah,
I mean, don't take the sack.
He didn't have anything. He just got rid of it.
Don't lose 10 yards. Just lose the down in this situation. Mosley up top can't get it. Gott couldn't catch it, and that's the freshman Ricky Stewart on the play in his first varsity action tonight. Got the call this week to play varsity, his first varsity action.
Good for him.
And they've kind of seen him a couple times throw at his way.
He's been on the roster the first 2 games, but this is the first action he's got. So
he was playing on the freshman team. And there it is.
Willis.
Samari Willis right across the middle with an interception.
Oh, you have another flag there late. We'll see what they call. It was definitely after the play. I didn't really
So Mosley, his second interception of the night. That one is massive in the red zone. Samari Willis comes up with his first interception of the year. So blindside block on the return, and so half the distance to the goal, which will be at the 8-yard line.
Another penalty for Chapel Hill.
Yeah, I don't have the stats in front of us, but penalties in the yards for both of these teams. There's been
a lot of yellow on the field, and it's not just Chapel Hill's yellow pants. It's going to give both coaches some game film to look at to try to clean some of this up with getting close to district play here in a few weeks.
.7:39 remaining in the game, and false start. Chapel Hill will move back 5 yards, so now it's going to be 1st and 15 at the 3. Not exactly what you want to start out this drive. Of course, Chapel Hill did get that safety earlier in the game. Got to be careful in this area. Ricky Stewart, the freshman, actually now lined up at the running back position. Gets the handoff. Stewart over the left side. Stiff arm. Stewart out across the 10-yard line. Pushed out of bounds at the 11. His first varsity carry.
Nice looking run there by Stewart. Kind of hard to believe you got a couple of these guys that were playing 8th grade football last year. Getting some early varsity experience is going to be beneficial for them down the road.
And we had a couple now. Tyson Berry, Deuce McGregor got varsity action in their first year
and you see
as
how,
freshmen.
You see how well they've progressed. So
Tyler Jones makes the right read on the option play, and that's good enough for a first down.
Also got to wonder if you'll see Mr. Brisbane back in the game at quarterback here at some point as the clock ticks down.
6:51 remaining. 35-16 our score. It's hard to believe that it was Hallsville up 16-14 at the break. Deuce McGregor with the ball. Deuce McGregor turns upfield. McGregor, they're going to say he's down.
Got him down. That's probably Deuce's
at
biggest
the
play.
35-yard line.
Biggest play of the night right there.
Trying to get the ball in his hand at some point. So good enough for a first down.
He may still, depending on how the other receivers around the area do, he might still be in the lead on yards. He was like 100 yards ahead.
Yeah, he was like 120 yards ahead of
Yeah.
everybody else in the East Texas area in receiving yards and hasn't had many tonight, but I guess that little shovel pass will count as a receiving yards. Jones trying to find some room. He'll stutter step and can't quite get to midfield. Tackled at the 48.
Nice first down pickup there by Jones.
He initiated the contact
I-
there.
I
Don't know
I
how-
think Coach Ruden's going to be like, Tyler, just step out of bounds there and
Yeah.
not take the contact because
At least don't initiate it. Try to get out of bounds.
I mean,
Don't want to get hurt here in the third game of the season.
yeah, especially this late in the game, up 19. You know, you hate to see anyone get injured. This is kind of one of those closing out times. You really don't want to see anyone get hurt.
Under 6 minutes now. Jones out to Barry, and Barry is immediately met.
I would say Barry was buried there on the tackle.
Javon Spencer on the tackle. Read that play like a book. Now Chapel Hill, clock is running. They're going to take their time on the play clock. Play clock's not even running right now.
I guess there's unlimited time. They know they're not going to use the whole thing, so.
Hand off to Stewart. Finds the outside. There is a flag. Stewart spins around. Stewart's still on his feet. There is a flag thrown at the 35-yard line, so this one's going to be coming back.
Nice run there by Stewart. Unfortunately, his guys up front had a little too much.
I can imagine how exhausting that could be as a running back.
You know,
you run 30 yards and then realize that it's all for naught.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure it's very frustrating. You know, things like that happen, but you put all that effort out, made a nice spin move in your first varsity action, and then it doesn't even count.
Look, if you're Hallsville, you've got to be impressed with the performance tonight, especially in the first half. You played a really, really fundamentally sound first half. And, look, this Hallsville team with Josh Strickland as their head coach seems to be headed in the right direction. Little dump pass to J.K. Davis. He slips and loses about 5 yards. Updated score, Pine Tree 35, Kilgore 27 with 2:41 remaining in the game.
One-score game there.
Henderson has extended the lead over Jacksonville 21-0. Van moves a little closer, 31-28 is the score. Lindale over Van. Hallsville going to take a timeout, and we'll take a timeout with them. You're watching Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Big Mike's Billiards, proud sponsor of Chapel Hill basketball. With 25 years experience in the pool table moving and service industry, Big Mike's strives to ensure complete satisfaction. The quality and care he and his team put into every move and every service call is the highest standard of service in the industry. Big Mike sells and services some of the best pool tables available today. He is an expert at caring for and moving any type of billiard table, whether it's across the room or across the country. At Big Mike's Billiards, no pool table repair job is too big or too small. Whether your table needs new cushions, felts, or to be professionally aligned and leveled, Big Mike is the guy to trust. Call Big Mike today at 903-842-4499.
.411 remaining in the ball game. Tyler Jones still in the game now, and 3rd and 27 to go. Jones rolls out, tries to find some space. Little stop and go. The Hallsville cheerleaders are throwing footballs into the crowd, and I keep thinking it's a flag every single time someone throws it. I just keep seeing something come out of the air.
We've seen it so much tonight. It's just, natural reaction. Oh, there's must be another flag on the play.
Yeah. So Chapel Hill's punt unit will come out. With 3:54 remaining, the Hallsville offense is going to have to try to do something to get back in this game. Jones is going to run a little bit and punt. It's going to be out of bounds around the 30-yard line. So that's where Hallsville will take over.
Van's closing in. Logan. Lindale only up 31-28. 6:05 left on Van. That's an interesting game. Always a good rivalry there, Van-Lindale down I-20.
Yeah, and man, I feel like Van, a couple years, they just kept having linebackers that were like all-state. Like just year after year, they just had one linebacker that was just an all-state linebacker.
And they're a small 4A too, so giving Lindale a good contest tonight.
Delayed handoff. I'll see who was that with the carry.
It's kind of like the old Chapel Hill White House rivalry there.
Blade Bullard.
That Lindale Lindale Van game. So I hopefully that game returns next year.
Yeah, we'll see. It's been a couple of years since we've had it.
So COVID hit last year, and that's why they had to reschedule it. So unfortunately, I guess they weren't able to get that back on the schedule.
Pass complete. Drew Harmon there on the play for Chapel Hill. It's going to bring up 3rd and 7 now. And that one's nearly intercepted by Lee Preston. Cam Gott couldn't come up with the reception, so now it's 4th and 7. And at this point, Hallsville is going to have to go for it with 2:33 remaining in the ball game.
Yeah, nothing to lose at this point.
Three wide receivers far side, man in motion, one-on-one. Mosley trying to find somebody, being chased. Throws it up to Gott, who's wide open, but the pass is incomplete. And a turnover on downs for Hallsville. Chapel Hill will take over possession at the 34-yard line.
Great effort there by Mosley to avoid the rush. Roll out wide, just couldn't find his man, Gott.
.224 remaining. Chapel Hill scored 21 unanswered.
Well, they're going to think Pine Tree may have salted it away. 42-27, 103 left. Not sure. I didn't pick that one this week. I didn't have that one on my pick'em.
Wow.
Big win for Pine Tree.
You know, Kilgore was ranked coming into the year number 9 to start out the season and has played pretty well to start, but Kilgore lost a lot. I think they were only returning 2 offensive starters from last year.
And a
new coach. So still trying to get acclimated to the system there, and it looks like Pine Tree might pull off the upset.
It also means Chapel Hill will probably move up another spot in the polls.
At least 1 or 2. They'll jump Kilgore. They should, at least, in the Dave Campbell's.
Yep.
They're too close not to. And it looks like we will have a new offense for Chapel Hill. Demetrius Bribson going to come in at quarterback. Some of the reserves, backups, going to get some playing time here. Hand off up the middle.
Is that Mumphrey?
That's Jatyron Mumphrey, yeah. He's going to gain a couple. Good
run
rush there.
That's a good run by Mumphrey.
As we wind down this game now with 2 minutes remaining.
We'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight's game. Income Portfolio Strategies, Ebenezer Church, Wooden Bean, Big Mike's Billiards, Big Tex Home Investment, Century 21 with Karen Murphy, and Bernie Messenring with the Property Shop Group.
Chapel Hill is going to just let this clock run. And now you have a freshman backfield with Demetrius Bribson and Ricky Stewart.
There's our future right here in the game.
Hand off to Stewart. Stewart's going to find a hole. Stewart breaking a tackle and inside the 20, tackled at the 16.
Also, all the touchdowns tonight were sponsored by CNA Lawn Care with Hector Garcia. Call him 903-714-6075.
Hallsville led this game 16-14 at half. And the second half adjustments for Chapel Hill has made this a 19-point game.
Yeah, at one time it was 16-7.
Bribson, low snap, trying to make something happen.
Wow.
Bribson getting inside the 5 for a first down.
Bribson just made that play himself with his legs and the athletic ability.
50 seconds. They're going to have to run probably one more play. And they're just going to take a knee.
Classy move there by Coach Reardon and company. No need to rub it in at this point.
And that's going to do it for this one. So Chapel Hill will move to 3-0 on the year. Up next for Chapel Hill next week, they have their first home game of the year against Center in a revenge game. Center kind of put a whooping up on the Bulldogs last year, so they have a revenge game next week at home against Center. And next week, Hallsville is going to be off. They have their early bye week before they get into district play. They'll start district play at Jacksonville on September 24th. Chapel Hill scores 21 unanswered in the second half. and they take a 35-16 win over the Hallsville Bobcats. Brett Sweeney, I'm Logan Ward. You've been watching Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Here at Big Tex Homes, we are a real estate solution company committed to serving the needs of the people. We're here to help and solve all your real estate needs, whether that be buying, selling, foreclosure, tax lien, probate short sales, or maybe a landlord that doesn't know what to do with a property. If you need this help, call us today at 903-472-0220 or visit our website at www.bigtexhome.com.
Wooden Bean, your locally owned drive-through coffee shop, is centrally located in Chapel Hill, diagonally across from the high school. Priding themselves in providing exceptional service and amazing drinks. From your standard coffee to lattes to signature cold brews, they have something for everyone. Teas, light fare breakfast, and a Red Bull Fizz that would kickstart any morning. If you haven't been out to see them, today is the day. Can't miss them. They're in the blue shipping container, and their baristas are looking forward to fixing up something just for you. Come on in and drive through.
Aaron Murphy with Century 21 is on your team assisting with buying or selling a home. You can count on this math teacher to find the best deal and get the win. Call her for your real estate needs at 903-571-5882.
Don't wait on the sidelines watching other homeowners. Get in the game. Whether you're dreaming of buying a home or wanting to sell the one you have, the right coach will help you build a winning team. Start by giving your friendly and experienced East Texas Realtor a call today. I'm Brandy Messenbring with the Property Shop Group, eXp Realty, 214-394-9180.
Big Mike's Billiards, proud sponsor of Chapel Hill basketball. With 25 years experience in the pool table moving and service industry, Big Mike's strives to ensure complete satisfaction. The quality and care he and his team put into every move and every service call is the highest standard of service in the industry. Big Mike sells and services some of the best pool tables available today. He is an expert at caring for and moving any type of billiard table, whether it's across the room or across the country. At Big Mike's Billiards, no pool table repair job is too big or too small. Whether your table needs new cushions, felts, or to be professionally aligned and leveled, Big Mike is the guy to trust. Call Big Mike today at 903-842-4499.